Welcome back. In the last video, we drafted our pattern using freehand and cut all our fabric pieces. Now comes the fun part. If you just joined, we already drafted and cut our pieces in part 1. And if you haven't seen the part 1 yet, I'll link it in the corner right now. But if you're here for the sewing, you are in the right place. So today we are sewing this Bustier Maxi dress with fringe together. From the straight dart to the attaching of that beautiful fringe. Let's pick up where we left off. So from the part 1, I shared with you guys how to join the shoulder darts, the front and the back pieces together. And I also showed you guys how to go about the stylish curved neckline for the front, including that of the back. Now the thing is, after you're done with those steps in part 1, go ahead and just join the sides together, okay? Place the front and the back piece with the right sides facing each other and join it at the side using the 2 inches sewing allowance we gave when we are drafting the patterns. And after you're done with the main fabric, go ahead and repeat the same thing on the lining piece as well. So there's another method of joining this. This is method 1, and the second method is joining everything individually before stitching them together. This method 1 will enable you to join your stitches in one long stitch, okay? But method 2 will be required to join individually after you have joined the back and the front. So whichever method you're using, endeavor to add your hemming gum just the way you see me doing, okay? Hemming gum will enable you to have a very neat finishing and accuracy immediately you press your clothes after stitching. Now, can you see the top of the curve where I just stitched look like? The hemming gum did a very good job around that part. I also went ahead to stitch the sides and close it because I made an individual stitch on both the lining and the main fabric. Can you see my sewing allowance there? It's outside, it's not inside. So when I was done joining the lining and the main fabric from the wrong side, I had to notch and top stitch this front part that is curved before turning it inside out to press it. I did the same thing for the back, though there was no need to notch it because it's just straight. So this is the zipper allowance. I'm just going to loosen the temporary stitch and then fix our zipper later on. Now this is how the front looks like. We are going to head over to draft the lower part, which is the skirt pattern. So I'll go ahead and place my tape rule like this just to cross check our measurement. So this is the underbust, which tops at 16, and then this is the waistline, okay, which is 19.5. I'm going to just trim out about the half length, just the way you see me doing. I'm going to mark 19 inches there plus extra half inch for the joining allowance, okay, so that way we can join it to the lower part of the skirt when we are done drafting. Because this is a freehand, another thing for you to take note of is the back waistline. So the back and the front waistline are at different levels. I mean, you can obviously see that the back is about 1 inch longer. So I'm just going to place my ruler this way and mark a straight line. By so doing, we are going to trim out half inch from the front and then trim out about 1.5 inch from the back. This is why it's very important to have excesses when you are drafting. So you see, now we don't have to fall short of fabric because we added an extra length when we were drafting this in part 1. So placing my measuring tape this way, you can see that everything is corresponding. We have about half inch for joining this part to the lower part, which is the skirt. Now for our skirt, I went ahead to draft an A-shaped flare pattern using the measurement of our waistline, hip line, and hip circumference. So what I did was just placing my tape rule this way. I went ahead to measure the quarter of my hip circumference plus zipper allowance of 2 inches and then sewing allowance of 2 inches, okay? And then I went ahead to make sure that the sewing allowance applies to both the hip. So I went down by 10 inches for the hip line, and from there I'm just going to extend the length and determine the length of the skirt, okay? Just remember that you have to add about half inch at the top to join it to the upper part, which we have set aside already. So from that point where I marked the hip line, I'm going to rotate my tape rule this way and mark the hip circumference, okay? So I'm going to measure the quarter of the hip circumference after marking the 2 inch zipper allowance, and then also leave another 2 inch allowance for the sewing allowance. And then the rest of the pattern is just flared. Do this for your lining as well. So I went ahead to join the lining piece together with the skirt at the lower part, okay? But with the fringe at hand, it can be a little bit tricky. Because there's a method I wanted to use to attach the fringe, I didn't just set it aside to attach it later. I already did it before stitching the down parts. What I did was just to stitch them like this with the hemming gum included. I had to top stitch towards the lining part as well, and then I proceeded to close the sides of both the zipper and the side seam. So this now left us to have this pattern as one piece. So if I open it up this way, you can see that the fringe is already sandwiched in between the lining and the main fabric. So when you turn it inside out, you're going to have your fringe swinging around. The fringe is already attached before joining the lining and the main fabric, and this is what it's going to look like when you are done. Can you see how seamless it is at this part? You can see that the fringe is hidden inside and the stitches are not seen anywhere, and the hemming gum is making everything appear nicely done. So this is the front part as well. I drafted the front part on fold without any zipper allowance, but with the sewing allowance of 2 inch included. So I inserted my fringe before the 2 inch sewing allowance that I gave at the sides. So when you join your pieces together with the sewing allowance, you're going to have your sides looking okay with the fringe coming from both the sides of the back and the front. So I'm just going to close the sides just like the way I did for the front, and this is what it looks like after I was done. So I've gone ahead to stitch everything together both at the sides and at the waistline, and this is what it looks like. I also went ahead to attach my pockets because there are pockets in the cloth, and also I attached my zipper as you can see. So can you see how this is coming out already? I love the outcome, especially the lower part where the fringe is attached. Now the next thing to do is to attach the sleeves. So the sleeve we are going to attach is a strapped kind of sleeve, and we're going to be needing a long rectangular fabric for that. Ensure that you add your interfacing before attaching the sleeves. And before that, we're going to be taking the measurements we need for the length of the sleeves. So place your measuring tape this way. For that of the front, we're going to be needing about 5 inch for the length, okay? Because at the top here is going to serve as the missing shoulder line, and then for the back we're going to leave our tape at that 5 inches mark and then measure 10 inch for the back. Altogether everything is going to become 15 inches, and we're going to be cutting that out on our elastic band just the way you see me doing. So the elastic band I'm using is 1 inch. You can use the normal ½ inch elastic band, but this is the one I have at the moment. So I have strapped my elastic band to one of the sleeve as you can see, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a jiffy. So this is the one I'm working on. After stitching my rectangular fabric on one side, I went ahead to determine the length, okay? So the length I'm using is about 27 inches. You can use more than that to get more volume and fullness. So for the width is 15 inches, but on fold it's 7 inches. So I went ahead to fold it into 2, and then I stitched it by ½ inch, turned it inside out and made a casing where I want to pass and insert my elastic band. Now you don't get to see any joining at the sides because I shifted it to the middle underneath the strap. Then I stitched 2 lines to make a casing for the elastic band, which I'm going to insert. So this is what it looks like after I was done passing the elastic band, and I'm going to attach it at this point of the top. But before doing so, I'll go ahead and interlock these rough edges to prevent it from fraying. And then what's left to do is to insert it by ½ inch this way and top stitch on it with gentle stitches. So I'm going to do that right away and get back to you. Now this is what it looks like after I was done stitching everything. Okay, you can see how beautiful it is. Like now I'm getting so jealous of this dress because it's not mine. So tell me, what color would you make this dress in, and how long do you like your maxi dresses? Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, why don't you hit the subscribe button? Don't forget to like and share. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.